You're welcome back to our complete course. In this lesson, we shall talk about how you can manage or control your water without frequently changing the water in the pond. First, what you have to do is to try as best as possible to avoid overfeeding. If you have watched the previous video, I have mentioned about the fact that overfeeding is what cause or affect most of the water parameters. Now try to avoid overfeeding. And if you avoid overfeeding, what it means is that your water will not get dirty or deteriorated easily. And for that matter, you can use that same water for a relatively longer period. I said relatively longer period because it cannot prevent you from changing the water completely, but at least it can help you get a longer period before changing the water. Now, what you should also note, that's the second thing, is that try to always remove sludges or debris or dirt under and the edges of the pond. For instance, most especially concrete ponds, when they accumulate a lot of dirt, the algae and all these at the edges and then at the bottom, even tapole pond, but concrete pond attract more. Now, if you don't clean this, anytime you change water within a day or two, that already dirtiness of the pond will affect the water again. But once a while, this is not all the time, but once a while, we'll notice the pond is very dirty and then you want to change water. So as you are draining the water, you will be cleaning around the edges. Then when it gets to the bottom, you can wrap it very well and flush that dirty out and give the fish complete clean pure water. Now, this water, it will take a relatively longer period before you change it. If when you try that and see, you will thank me. So this is very important. Always clean the water in your pond. Also, always do partial change. Partial change in the sense that don't drain the water out completely before changing, except there's contamination or you want to do general cleaning like I said. Otherwise, just drain half or more than half of the water and top it up, and that can save you water. Now that will bring us to the most important aspect of running your farm without changing the water. That is, we do what we call filtration system. And the filtration system, we have three types of filtration system. We have biological filtration system, we have chemical filtration system, and we have mechanical filtration system. So I'm going to take you through all these three. Then you will choose for yourself which one is best for you. And sometimes you can even combine one or two or three of these to get optimal or best results. When we talk about chemical filtration, it's the introduction of chemicals into the pond, and that chemical will break down the toxic substances like high ammonia, the leftover feed, and those stuff. It will break it down so that it will be less harmful. So these ones use chemical, but the thing is that this is for quick remedy. It doesn't provide long-term solution. Assuming you notice high ammonia in your farm and or there's contamination which you think can kill your fish immediately. If you have any of such chemicals around, you can quickly use it to provide that short-term remedy. So this one short time. It cannot prevent you from changing the water. However, it can provide you with immediate results before you can work towards changing your water. The second one is the biological filtration. And this biological filtration will has to do with introducing microorganism or living organism in the pond that will feed on the leftover feed and then the feeds of the fish and break it down so that it will not turn into ammonia. So it will rather be converted into useful for the fish. And clear example is probiotics. Probiotics is made out of biological medication, is medicine. You introduce it into your pond, and then when you add it in the pond, it will ginger or it will introduce microorganism, and that microorganism will keep feeding on the leftover feed and the feces and converting the high ammonia to useful for the farm. This way too, you can run the water for a relatively longer period without changing. Now that brings us to the best and most recommended method, and that's the method I love personally, and that's the mechanical filtration. This one has to do with installing a system into the farm that will constantly remove the insoluble particles that are leftover feed, the feces of the fish, and also break down the ammonia, and that it will take them out of the pond. That's why it is good. It will not leave them for the pond so that in a longer period it will still affect them. No, it will take it out. So that's why it is good to use the recycled aquatic system. The recycled aquatic system will reuse that same water as it removes the insoluble particles and the leftover feed, and then it will filter it outside and to bring the good water into the pond again and to keep use going that way. And the recycled aquatic system also comes with aeration system where oxygen is being added into the pond. So they are two in one. But you may decide to use filtration system or can decide to use aeration system. But combination of both is fine. And sometimes some people use the biological filtration system like I mentioned earlier, but they'll add aeration to it and that'll be fine. But the best you can use the biological filtration and recycle aqua system. Like I said, recycle aqua system has to do with filtration and aeration system, which is very good. I have a course again on the recycle aquatic system where you can also check it out, enroll in it. Because in this course, I cannot take you through how to set it up. Yes, but I have another course where I teach you how to set it up yourself, step by step. You can follow it and you can learn and implement it yourself. So it is very important you install that in your farm if you mean business and if you want to have better control of the system that you are running. Now, this will also make the fish to grow bigger and faster within shortest period because they are healthy, and that can also lead you to stock more fish in your pond because the waste has been taken out, oxygen is being added, so you can stock more fish in your pond, giving you more resource. So check out the course of the recycle ecosystem and then enroll in it. Thank you so much for watching. Now, having a look at all this, like I said, the best is system ecosystem. If you install this and it is working fine, very well, then you don't have to always change the water. It will take you longer period, even sometimes from stocking to harvest, and you not change the water. Unless probably during sorting or other period that you want to drain the water, and then you can change it. Thank you so much. I'll see you in my next lesson.